Girlfriend 19F hooked up with ex while we were exclusive, just found out after we've been dating for 10 months. Advice needed. Okay, so I just want to start off by saying I 19M love my girlfriend 19F a lot and have generally had such a good relationship with her. We don't really fight, at least not any more than other couples, and we're very attracted to each other. But today, we had a talk in which she came clean about hooking up with her ex 2 months after we started seeing each other. At the time, we had made it implicit that we were exclusive, and had been going on romantic dates. So it was clear the situationship was moving somewhere. Then she goes home for winter break and sees her ex, who she was in a relationship with for 3 years. Apparently he was still very into her, but she says she was no longer into him at this point, and they ended up giving each other head, but not having penetrative sex. Then a month later, she comes back from break. I have no idea this ever happened, so I ask her to be my girlfriend. We've been together for 10 months since. She says that the hookup felt coerced and non-consensual. Her ex refused to leave her room for hours and was obviously very upset with herself. She says she waited so long to tell me because if she had come clean immediately, she knew I would have ended things before we started officially dating. She knows she ducked up and swears that she will work hard to regain my trust. I also think she was a pretty different person 10 months ago than she is now. At the same time, she physically cheated on me while we were exclusive, and while she says the hookup felt pressured, she still gave her ex head at the end of the day. On principle, I want to break up with her, but I know she has changed and I'm wondering if maybe I should give her a second chance. Story 2, I was depressed and she cheated. I'm going to give a TLDR version. With girlfriend a year and a half. Things are great at first. When we first met I was a trophy boyfriend, A+ dates, made her laugh, the whole 9. She was an amazing girlfriend. We had amazing chemistry together, things were perfect for around 6 months. I'd like to add she has a 7-year-old I love very much. After the 6 months the honeymoon phase sizzled out, but things were still good, occasional fights here and there but things were normal. 8 months in she gets a new job that strains the relationship, but nothing too significant. So the last 8 months I became severely depressed. I lost all feeling, all emotions, I was a robot. I didn't want to admit to her or even myself anything was wrong, but we both knew. Then it got worse and I had suicidal thoughts and waves of sadness. The sadness became so unbearable I finally listened to her and got helped after she pushed me. I got on meds and they killed the sadness. I was no longer sad. But I still felt nothing. I was empty and numb. The whole month of December till after New Year's I found out she cheated on me with a co-worker's. I find call logs on my cell phone bill of her talking to him on the phone for 6+ hours and she admitted to me they kissed. I pressed the guy and that's what he told me as well. He seemed deathly afraid of me, so that may be the truth. She claimed she was alone and lonely even though I saw her almost every day and that for 8 months I was a shadow of my former self. I also didn't tell her anything was wrong till it got really bad. She's 100% right. If I didn't get depressed I know she would have never ever cheated. I don't wanna get into, but just take my word for that. She also 100% wrong for cheating and there is no justification for it. There's way more to the story, but based off of that, what would you guys do? Maybe I'm just venting, but I'm also looking for answers. The past 5 weeks I've been shutting her down. I've spoken to her horribly and verbally abused her many times on what she did. I'm ashamed of myself for that. I've been seeing a new girl, and I really miss my ex. So tonight I'm going to my ex's to either take her back or end our communication for good. She was willing to jump out of a plane for me the last 5 weeks, but the last 5 days she seems hesitant now. My plan is to see if she's willing to work this out on my grounds. If she is, then I'm thinking about dropping the new girl for her. If she shows any hesitancy whatsoever, I'm walking out. Honestly, I miss her very much, and I still lack emotion, so where I stand with the new girl. I just miss my ex and wish she never did it, and I wish I never got depressed. I love her and her son, I just don't want this to happen again. Sorry guys if I'm confusing. I have an exam tomorrow for nursing school and my mind is racing about this talk with her tonight. Edit. Was at her house for 45 minutes, it's over for good and I got my closure I needed. It went how I accepted. She's confused and hurt by my actions of taking another girl out for Valentine's Day and speaking to her badly. Those are valid feelings she has, but she didn't know if she wanted to continue BC of those reasons plus others. That's all I needed to hear. This is it for good and I finally have my peace. Thank you for everyone who responded. Sometimes I'd where I would be without the people of Reddit. Edit 2. She's texting me this morning, good luck on my exam. I also have another exam tomorrow. Then she goes, maybe we can talk more later, I know you have a test tomorrow so let me know. I would like to if you would. What else wants to talk about? Redditors reactions, story 3 after. Redditor 1, I think it's best for y'all to move on. There's a lot of barriers to success here and neither of you will forget what happened the last year or so. Focus on being alone and healing and developing healthier relationships. I just don't think y'all have the mental makeup to heal through this together. Answer, thank you for that advice. When you say neither of us will forget. Which part won't she forget? How I spoke to her bad, the new girl I'd been seeing, or how lonely she felt BC I was depressed. Redditor 2. This can't be real. You have an important exam tomorrow and you are having this huge talk tonight. If this is real, then you need to slowly go to the bathroom, turn on the lights, stare at yourself in a mirror for a moment, and slap yourself in the face until the pain overrides your silliness. So let me get this straight. You think that her falling on the penis of another man is 100% your fault because you were depressed, that you believe her excuse that she was lonely at that time rather than her supporting you and your temporary depression, that you have a new girl who has not cheated on you but want to go back to a girl who hasn't supported you and cheated on you, and you believe she just kissed. Mate, please don't have that talk. Concentrate on the exam. Pass it with flying colors, then you have all the time to introspect about this cheating waste of time XGF, and especially, your own self-respect. Answer, this is real, I'm actually responding to this thread when I have not studied a minute today yet. This has been plaguing me the past 5 weeks yet I'm still doing well in school. That won't last as the program will get more intense. I truly believe she did not sleep with him, that I believe. I do not believe they only kissed once. This was the girl who wanted to marry me, and start a future together. My depression halted all of this. Redditor 3, just move on. What's done is done. It will never be the same again and you're my way or the highway approach is doomed to fail. Answer, I see why you say that. A few ground rules I don't think is unreasonable in my personal opinion. I mean, she would have to gain my trust back some way or another. Right? Story 3, do I tell the other parties other? Last September, my wife stayed over at an old boyfriend's house. She left my kids home alone while I was out camping. I got to hear, I stayed the night, but I didn't sleep with him. She has continued to stick to this lie, but her stories have changed and the details are vague. I've given her time and space for the last 4 months. It doesn't look good for us. One of my wife's arguments, that she didn't have time with him, was that he has a girlfriend. He does have a girlfriend. Now, letting her know does have a bit of sweet revenge kind of vibe, but that's not my thing. I do, although, try to be honest with everyone. I think she deserves to know. I hate to bring hurt to anyone, but he shouldn't get to do this to her anymore. I think it's the right thing to do. Anyone been through this? I've seen a lot of replies about leaving her and questioning why I'd put up with it this long. I absolutely love my wife, and I am heartbroken. I'm really not sure what she thinks she is doing. I am sure she has shown me no remorse. She has, though very confusingly, been working on herself and our day-to-day relationship. Because I love her, I've given her the time and space to improve herself so that if we don't work out, her perspective isn't fogged and hopefully she'll come out a better person. Unfortunately, she hasn't taken that time to come clean. This weekend I reached out to her guy turd, social media, and he blocked me. I've never met the guy. He now knows that I know who he is. I'm guessing that she's told him nothing about my knowledge of him because she avoids all conflict. So this was probably a little wake-up call for him. When I told my wife that he blocked me, her response was, "You can't block people on that platform." I replied, "Yeah, he has no reason not to want to be friends with me." Silence. Redditor's reactions, story 4 after. Redditor 1, the other person deserves to be able to make informed decisions about their life, just like you. Redditor 2, did you deserve to know? Then so does his GF. Extend the same courtesy you would like extended to you. Bonus, GF may be able to get the truth out of him. Although it's plainly clear your wife cheated. Tell your wife you've scheduled a poly test and watch her reaction. Redditor follow-up, this is a subject where a betrayed person needs to walk carefully. Do not bluff. Many wayward will agree to take a polygraph only to stop the conversation. Then when it comes time to actually take the test, they find a reason not to. Another danger is the wayward might have ASBD. If they do, in most cases a polygraph is basically useless. Redditor 3, what about the kids? She practically abandoned them. She is only arguing one side when in fact she is a horrible person for both abandoning her kids and then cheating. Remind her that she abandoned her kids like a dog in heat. A woman don't do that without getting the strange. To me, lying to you and abandoning the kids is betrayal. There is no R with a traitor. Traitors should not be given quarter. Tell the GF of the other guy while you divorce her. Also tell her parents how she abandoned the grandkids to cheat. Redditor follow-up, that was my first thought too. If the kids are all under 14 or whatever the legal age to be on their own at home is in his country, then what she did is not just terrible, it's abhorrent to disregard your kids like that so you can sleep with someone. Story 4, I wish I found this sub 6 years ago. I 35M was married to what I thought was the love of my life 38F. We were together on and off for 13 years and together for 11, married for 6. We never fought and I thought we just got each other. I had such a strong attraction to her that I ignored every red flag along the way. I'm not looking for advice, I'm more or less posting for other people who may be in a similar situation to see the aftermath of reconciliation that didn't work and completely changed the outcome of my life. We moved in together shortly after dating steady, everything of course was great. I proposed to her and we started planning the wedding. When I went on to an afternoon shift is when things started to feel different, a little more distance but not too bad. I got a feeling to check her phone and found deleted messages of someone I know she used to be with. At the time the phone would show the contact and a deleted message. I called her out on it and she feeds me the whole he was trying to talk to me and I just deleted the message because I didn't want this to cause problems. I believed her as we were getting married. Why would she cheat? This is something I know was more now but never got an answer on. It never sat right with me but I moved on from it. Fast forward to 1 year after we get married and a couple of months after we bought a house. I am on afternoons again and someone close tells me they are certain she is having an affair. I call her out and she denied it and gets dramatic, packing her things trying to leave. I calm her down and we don't talk about it anymore that night. When she's at work the next day I get the guy's number and call him and he confirms it. This guy she had an affair with was a mutual friend who was at our wedding the year before and we were at his around the same time. I call her and tell her to get home and she admits it, puts on all the waterworks and essentially takes all the blame. She states she is in a bad headspace and drinking too much. I believe her but am unsure if I can forgive her, but I tell her I want to be with her. After a couple days she is cutting herself and crying non-stop in the spare bedroom. At this point I had decided that I'm going to help her get out of this headspace, but I'm going to leave. I didn't think I could get over it. While this is going on she tells me she thinks she's pregnant. I decided to wait and sure enough she confirms it with a pregnancy test. I didn't skip a beat. I tell her I love her and we will get through this. Her pregnancy was difficult, so essentially the entire thing got rug swept with only a few close friends knowing. On my son's first birthday she finds out she's pregnant with our second. Mix in the pandemic and work and nothing got worked on and all our time was work and kids. We never worked on anything between us and essentially coexisted together, but it seemed like we were on the same page and this was just this chapter of our lives with young kids. I was waiting for things to get easier with the kids to work on us again. Well, in November I had a bad feeling and checked her iWatch and confirmed another affair with a different mutual friend, this time a way older guy. The real kick in the nuts was it was on a work trip that I took a week off work to take care of the kids while she went and screwed another guy. She texted me pictures of her workstation in her hotel room and FaceTimed us all while planning this. I found out about this affair 2 weeks after getting my vasectomy done. The mood is different this confrontation. She is less apologetic but visibly ashamed. She is obviously processing the fact that her cushy life is changing. We talked over the course of 2 to 3 weeks and she tells me how she disconnected from me shortly after our second was born like 2 years ago. What really got me though is how she said how terrible our relationship was before we got married. This pissed me off because if she would have actually said why she cheated the first time, either something could have been done to change it, or if I knew how much she thought our relationship was bad, then maybe I would have left then. This situation just kept getting worse as before I could move out of the house I didn't want to buy her out. This house was broken from the beginning for me. I'm 90% sure she started seeing her personal trainer. She nuked our marriage and another and moved on to another guy just like that. We are now split up and 50-50 parenting. This woman ruined everything that was supposed to be fun in my life. Within 1 year of marriage it was ruined, 3 months of buying a house it was broken, and my firstborn child, I spent the pregnancy wondering if the child was even mine. Trust me, everyone thinks their relationship with infidelity is different and that their partner is different and they can change. My situation was that she never communicated how unhappy she was, and when I could see she was unhappy she would deflect and say it was work stress or some other reason. But the more I think about it, I was always plan B. I was the safe bet at home and stability while she was always looking for an upgrade. This was the love of my life, and I'm shattered. Things are still bad 4 months later, but getting a bit better. My opinion from all this is don't give second chances, it's not worth it. I never forgot about the first affair, I did forgive but never forgot, and she never put in the work to make me forget. There is so much more to my story, but I didn't want a complete wall of text. I married a complete narcissist who blew up our family without a care. I know I played my part in our relationship, failing, but I was always ready to do whatever was needed to make it work. She needed a mind reader, and I am not that. She essentially said this. I realize now this woman never respected me. I don't know why I loved her so much looking back, but when you're with them you don't think about this kind of stuff. Story 5, wife cheated on me 7 years ago. I found out last year and we have been working on it. But I still think about it. My wife admitted that she cheated on me 7 years ago while pregnant with our middle child. She snuck into a back room with a guy from work and gave him a blowjob. I've kind of put it out of my mind for the last 6 months, but now I can't stop thinking about it. She's 8 months pregnant now. About as pregnant as she was when she cheated. I guess what's bothering me is that it wasn't even an emotional affair, it was just a hookup, it was a blowjob which she hates giving, and that she kept it from me for 6 years. I asked her if there was more and she says no. But her word is it now. I can't even go to the back room of my work or think about BO jobs without that popping into my head. Any advice on how to move on? Edit, you'll need math lessons. She was already pregnant again when she revealed that she had cheated. I found out 6 months ago. She's 8 months pregnant. Redditor's reactions. Redditor 1, this is the start of the trickle truth. Get yourself an STD test and your kids' DNA tests. You don't know what she did, but the one thing you can be sure of is that she didn't blow one guy one time and there's nothing else to tell. She's telling you the bare minimum now to assuage her guilt because she knows you're not going to leave her at 8 months pregnant. Op answer, that's pretty accurate. I'm not concerned about them being mine or not. They're like little replicas of me as a child. But I absolutely don't believe her. Redditor 2, when a woman tells you that it was just a blowjob and only one time, she was lying to you. For you the affair started yesterday because that's when you found out about. Most likely a lot more happened. Since she was already pregnant she couldn't get more pregnant. And since she is now pregnant again, you have no way of knowing what she has been up to. You can just accept what happened and move on with your life, or you can start digging for more dirt. The outcome of this situation is that you will never look at your wife again the same way you did on the day you were married. You will never trust her completely again. She is no longer the woman that you married on your wedding day. She is now someone else. Also, you may want to avoid kissing her because you don't know where her mouth has been lately. Redditor follow-up, she's the same person he married. She just hid herself well until she couldn't. Redditor 3, the pregnancy triggered you from the infidelity 8 years ago. It appears you carpet swept it. Question never answered. Wife off the hook with no consequences. Trust me, there is more. Your wife is lying. Cheaters lie a lot. My best advice to move on is to actually move on. This appears to be your deal breaker. Don't let this ruin your life. Find another that loves and respects you. Your wife does not.